Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more iRacing, this time round back in the Mercedes AMG W13. We're here for week 2 of the F1 Fix Series. This time around it takes us to the Austrian Grand Prix circuit and the Red Bull Ring. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't been able to do as much practice as I would have liked ready for this event tonight, but we'll wait and see as to how things go. I mean, it's the Friday before Christmas. I think a lot of people are probably doing other stuff, so not a huge amount of attendance ready for this one tonight, but we'll try and keep it clean and tidy and work our way through there and hopefully just get to the flag in one piece. Still after SR as much as anything else at the moment, so let's get into qualifying. Fairly cautious lap for the most part then, but round in the final corner that is going to be a 107.5. Puts us provisionally in P6 there. Yeah, happy I got the lap in, but the car just feels a little bit loose, especially through some of the, through sector 2 through 5 and 6, the double left-hander. But it is what it is. We've qualified, that's the most important thing. We're lining up then P6 on the grid, ready for this race. I've remembered to put the soft compound tyres on this week. We didn't have fun with that last time round in Fuji, but 18 laps, effectively it's a 25% Formula 1 race. Every race is over the course of this season, but fingers crossed we make it through turn 1 clean and tidy. And then we just sort of go from there. We might have the pace to match a couple of the cars in front. You know, the likes of Daniel and Cedric, they've got like twice, 3 times my I rating. I don't fancy my chances against them, funnily enough. Right, let's do this thing. Got to make sure we keep it clean and tidy off the start. Waiting on those 4 red lights.
Go, go, go.
Lights out and away we go. Oh, big kicker wheel spin that time round as we try and put the power down. Try and put the power down without putting all the rubber into the circuit. Oh, looks like the guy in front of me is starting on the medium, so we'll immediately swoop round the outside there at turn 1. But look at that, 3rd and 4th gear. This car's got so much torque that it still didn't want to go anywhere. There was, I think, P5 didn't grid up in time, so we've gained immediately 2 spots in all of that as we head up the hill. Very, very early on, this car on cold rubber does feel incredibly loose and lively. So we have got to be a bit careful. You know, that's where most of the mistakes are made, when the car is cold and things like that. But like I mentioned, I think there's only 13 cars in this split, so not the biggest evening's worth of Formula 1 action. I don't know what it is about the W13, but a lot of people just really haven't jumped onto it. I do occasionally see some fairly well-populated lobbies, but it might be about trying to find when is the most popular time and try and jump in then with these cars. But I worry already that we're going to be spending a lot more of our day looking in our mirrors rather than looking at the cars in front. I mean, we're not far behind, I can't read his name through the final couple of turns. Yeah, we're not far behind iRacing Rise off Ilari, so we might be able to stay fairly close to them, but 2 places gained then, theoretically, off of the start there. We can't complain too much about that, so again, just got to be really careful through turn 1. Yeah, we'll wait and see what we can do against Ilario there, as if we were to finish here, 42 iRacing I would absolutely take. Already battling it out though as we head down in towards turn 4 on this second lap. And I mean, if they were to come to blows, we could certainly be in the fight for the win, as of course you've got to remember just how much more leery this car can be. Of course, the grip does feel sort of more lateral. We know how F122, the grip's either there or it's gone. But yeah, on iRacing, of course, it is sort of a lot more linear everything like that as we head down in towards the final couple of turns. Facundo behind us, losing or dropping back too much either there as well. Got to be really, really careful. Of course, you can get away with running a bit wider through these final couple of turns on iRacing than you can on F1 as well. So if I get any comments from people going, you went out the white lines, you get away with it. There's a 109.5 that time round. It's actually a fairly decent lap time. Quicker, in fact, than Ilari in front. But also quicker than Facundo behind. So we'll wait and see. But we've got to try and get in the DRS range if we want to do anything. Whoa, picked up a 1x there. I think Facundo's gone. No idea what happened to him, but yeah, just ran over the curb and on the way in there trying to open up the corner and got on the throttle just a little bit too early. That's of course what you got to remember in these Formula 1 cars, you know, everything just happens so quickly. You've got to be making split-second decisions, but that gave me a 1x and cost me a little bit of time. I feel like, yeah, if we can get within the DRS of Ilari, we know now, thanks to Fuji last weekend, just how strong and how potent the DRS is in these cars. But yeah, that time round we definitely lost a bit of time. Let's just focus and see what we can do. It is just that thing with these cars about slowly building up the confidence, but like I mentioned, didn't get anywhere near as much practice as I would have liked to get in this week. But of course the Red Bull Ring, luckily, one of, in many ways, the easiest tracks in the world. Easy to learn, difficult to master. I think this place is all. Facundo hasn't completely gone then, but he did drop a long way back. Didn't realise actually he had more iRacing than me, as that was aggressive on the way in towards turn 1, but the gap's just floating between 1 and 1.3 between myself and Ilari. Oh, this time round we might just be within the DRS range. I think the detection point is into the final couple of turns there, so we'll wait and see in just a moment. Just chucking it through that final corner, really trying to hook the car up. There we go. We are now inside the DRS, so surely now we'll be able to get a little bit closer as we're really pushing. Time's still improving at the moment as well, which is always reassuring. I think everyone, just the fuel burns up, but look at that immediately. Of course, 3 DRS zones back to back around the Austrian GP circuit, and you can already see how much we're gaining on Ilari as we head up towards the top of the hill. That's one corner he's definitely not been confident on the brakes every lap through. We've been making up a little bit of time there, but we're also going to feel the full effect of the dirty air as well now. Of course, it's not as bad as previous generations of Formula 1 cars, but it is still definitely noticeable, especially around a track like Austria. Let's just keep focus, try and hang as close as we dare, but also don't over-push it. 1/3 distance is... You surely can't run that wide there. Surely that's a 1x, as I'm definitely going to get one. Nope, we got away with that as well. So both of us now starting to push a bit more, as that will be one. No, it won't again. I'm cheating the 1x's apparently. Able to get a run this time around though as we head down in towards turn 4. He's going to sit defensive. We'll look to the outside. I wasn't actually really trying to go for anything there, as you're always just a bit worried. It's so easy to go for switchbacks on F122, of course, on the T-Cam. You're so worried on iRacing that, oh, that's not the line, but he's messed it up as well. You're so worried that you're just going to try and turn in and the car in front just parks on the apex, so you just come together in the most embarrassing way possible. But yeah, now we are definitely applying more pressure there. Like I said, up towards turn 3 technically is our best place to go for something. Still, every time there is constantly 20-30 metres earlier on the brakes, and that's no exaggeration, as again we'll get the DRS at the final corner and 11 laps to go of this race. Gaining in turn 1, but oh, he's got brave on the entry. He's compromised his exit slightly though. Is this now going to be the chance to move up into the podium places here as we head back up the hill? You can see how much time we're gaining on the Delta. To the inside we'll go. Just brake a little bit early because we're on the dirty side, but get it slowed down. And now we're going to be the one watching our mirrors as 7/10 instantly pulled away. There's no idea what's going on to Facundo, but still really struggling, as do not want to do that. So we've got someone going a bit slowly in front there. Alan going a lap down, so hopefully we'll be able to get around him nice and tidy. Yep, you will jump out of the way. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. As, yeah, Ilari still able to hang pretty close to us, but the DRS, I mean, I'm guessing just where he's braking so early in towards turn 3, that's probably where the DRS makes the most difference around this venue, and perhaps struggling as well in the dirty air, maybe just a little bit more. You just don't know what different drivers, sort of where their confidence is around a venue like this, but we're keeping him at bay. We're over half distance now as well, so it's looking alright at this early stage, but as we all know in Formula 1, it can go wrong in an instant, and there's always a fair chance of that with me racing this thing on iRacing. So there we go. That's exactly what I mean. They're both of us locking up at the top of the hill, but Ilari makes a much bigger hash of it. Perhaps, of course, because he's earlier on the brakes every time. really just ran out of confidence that time round. So, oh, steady on, Matt, steady on. I felt a small snag on that inside wheel on the way in, and then a huge load of wheel spin as well on the way out. This thing is so... I mean, you do get fantastic feedback from it, of course, like pretty much every car on iRacing, but yeah, it still doesn't... In fact, in many ways, it makes it more scary, because you know when you're close to the limit of, well, what I feel is close to the limit in this car. But yeah, top two absolutely have ran away in this race. He's just about the battle behind me, trying maybe to defend for our first podium. I do feel like I'm slowly building up more and more confidence with this car. I'm sure by saying that I'm about to jinx myself. So 109.1. Yeah, we're actually taking a fair chunk of time out of Cedric in front. That time around 7/10. So I wonder if he's just trying to nurse the car home, but 6 laps left. Could there still be a slim chance of a fight for P2? I just don't want to over push it though. As you can see, they're immediately having a cadence break at the top of the hill. But yeah, we're getting into the jam, it feels like. I'm so definitely going to cut to a second to be binning it after I say this. Well, one problem we definitely didn't get at Fuji that I certainly am here with 4 laps to go is, of course, because we're actually on the correct tyres this time around, the softs do get pretty worn out by the end of a 25% race. They're not undrivable or anything like that just yet, otherwise, of course, no one would use them, but you certainly do notice the grip slowly starting to fall away, so maybe Cedric had just taken a bit more out of his, or just knows that and was trying to nurse them a little bit more. But yeah, the gap started just to neutralise over the last couple, so I think, he's got nearly 3 times my rating. He's probably just putting me back in my place as much as anything else, but it was quite nice there for a couple of laps to be consistently taking some time out of someone, with 3,500 more I rating than me. And even now, we're still practically matching him.
Was at 109.
Oh, got a little bit loose and lively there, just for a brief moment. That was a bit scary, as we've got another car that's a lap down. Oh, it's Alan again. Fair play for keeping at it, but clearly, struggling a bit for pace in his Merc there, as he's actually on the mediums for whatever reason, so I'm not quite sure why that choice was made. But, I mean, I did that exact same thing last week, so I'm not going to give him too much stick for it. But round in the final corners then to start the last lap of this race, I tell you what, I don't know about you guys watching, but I feel like I've taken a big step forward. So really, really happy with that. I'm sure I say that now, and we will bin it on this last lap. But I mean, yeah, we're still taking time out of Cedric, even right to the flag here. So I think we've done pretty well at sort of managing the tyres, managing the pace, everything like that. And like I said, genuinely, I got 2 laps of practice in. I haven't driven the car since last week at Fuji. Got 2 laps of practice in and kind of expected the worst to happen here, but yeah, don't think I would have predicted a podium going into this, and I certainly would have been quite happy if someone said to me I was lapping quicker than a guy with 5,500 I rating. But round in the final few corners then of this race, again, it's all still a learning experience. I am thinking, depending on how this season goes, about maybe if iRacing host another fixed 100% race series, I might jump in and do some of that as well, because I thought that could be quite good fun. I think they were on Thursday nights last year. So yeah, try and potentially keep that night of the week free if that does come back around, of course, in March. But in through the final corners then, it's going to be a podium in the W13 there. I will absolutely take that. 58 I rating, it reckons we've gained. P3 from 6th on the grid. We'll absolutely have that. Let's go have a look at those final race results. Look at that, a sea of green to finish off this race here from the Red Bull Ring. And I mean, yeah, our average lap time is only a 10th away from Cedric by the end, so really, genuinely, I'm so happy about that. 2k SOF though, so it wasn't horrendous, but yeah, it certainly was quite wide open there. Only 13 cars, but we all did make it to the checkered flag there. 0.21 SR. Absolutely still going in the right direction. 58 I rating takes us up over 2.2k. So I'm pretty much, I think, at the max I've ever had on the platform. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. And yeah, we will certainly be returning next week with more of the Formula A Fix series. Yeah, there will be a limited content, of course, over the Christmas period, as well as, this channel isn't my top priority. The main channel is still getting daily uploads, but here it's probably going to be sort of once every 2 or 3 days, depending on when I jump onto the sim. But thank you all so much nonetheless, and we will return very, very soon with more sim racing content.